All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Enhanced Prefab Loader. I have seemingly let my card tutorial go outdated. So I'm going to be working on getting all of my tutorials updated soon. But we're going to start with the one that seems to be most popular right now, which is the cards. Everybody's wanting to add cards. So we're going to start with that one. All right, so this video is going to assume that you have watched my previous videos. You already know how to set up your folders, and everything is good to go from your end on that. So jumping right into it, I have my folder here that I'm going to be putting all of this particular card set's stuff into. I have my foil mask. When you add this, when you drag this in, it's probably going to drag in as a texture, and it's going to look like that without the arrow. This does need to be a sprite, the foil mask. So this is going to be the foil mask that I use for the set. And I'm just going to set that to Sprite 2D and hit apply. This texture is the card back. This is the card back this is the same texture that the card back. This is the same texture for the card backs that the base game uses. This has been redone to be Union Arena. If you need that texture, you can find it in, if you just go here and type card back, and then right here. So you can take this and get AI to make your new card back or make your own card back. It just needs to follow the same texture, right? I have my folder with all my cards that I plan on adding in it. We're not going to add all of these in the tutorial. We're just going to randomly choose 7 of them, probably just like this. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and add those 7. And I have everything I need for adding my pack. I'm not going to add a card box in this tutorial. I will add that in a tutorial later. All right, so I've made this a sprite. Now the next thing I need to do is I need to go in, and from each of my cards, I need to go in and make all of them a sprite. And you can do it just like I did. You can choose all of them at the same time and make them a sprite. Now, if you've noticed, I don't have any suffixes on my folders, and none of my cards are in separate folders anymore. They're all just hanging out in the same folder here. The suffixes are no longer needed. You can organize your folders however you want to. This has been updated. The script no longer goes based off of directory structure, so you can update your folders and organize however you want to organize. Next thing we need to do is we need to go in here. This also, yeah, this is my sprite. So the sprite, it needs to be a sprite. Makes sense, right? So this is going to be what shows up on the box and in the game store for the packs. Well, when you buy the packs. Another thing that we need to do for the pack is we need a material. So we're going to create a material. And we're going to name it whatever we want to. This is 1,000-Year Blood War from Bleach. So I'm just going to name it TYBW. And we're just going matte. All right. That way we know it's material. All right. With the material, with the sprites, and with the textures, the naming for the sprites and the textures need to be unique, but they only need to be unique to your bundle now. They don't have to be globally unique anymore. They're only unique to your bundle. So as long as I don't have another texture, another sprite called Gemini General Generated Image, because I used AI to make that, right? So as long as I don't have another sprite that's named that, then I'm good. I didn't use AI to make that. That's an actual card pack. I used AI to fit it correctly. But so now that I got my mat, I can go in and I can go to my textures. I've already got some textures uploaded here. So here's my card pack texture. So what I'm going to want to do is click my mat, go to my textures, and then I'm going to want to drag this to albedo. And you see it takes place here. For the shader, it doesn't matter. I work with the shader in the code, so it doesn't really matter anymore what shader you pick, because I change all of that, all those settings and everything in the code to properly work for the game. So you don't have to worry about setting shaders or anything like that anymore. All right. So that looks like it. I got my material. I got my sprite. I got all my card faces. I got my foil mask. I got my card back. Okay. The only thing that I'm not going to add right now is you can add foil masks per card. So each card can have its own foil mask. If you do not add a foil mask for the particular card, then it will fall back to the card set's foil mask. And well, I'm about to show you that right now because I'm about to hit export. So let's go to build asset bundles with verification. And this is going basically to show you some of the changes I made here. So we're going, we have to go through and specifically say, oh, look, we're adding a new card set. So the expansion name for this one is Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War. This is probably going to be a little bit too long for the main game, but we're going to leave it the way it is. We'll just call this 1,000-Year Blood War. So the expansion type has to be globally unique across all expansions. It does not show up in game. Anywhere the expansion type is displayed in game, I use the card expansion name. So you don't have to worry about this showing up in game. But it has to be globally unique. I don't think anybody's going to name theirs TYBW though, so I think I'm okay. Has foils. If a set has foils, then every single card in the set can be foil, which means that you have a foil and a non-foil copy of every single card in the set. Card back sprite, you just take, and I know it says sprite. I gotta update that. It is indeed a texture. Do not change this to a sprite. Do not change this to a sprite just because it says sprite. It is supposed to be a texture. Foil mask, you just copy and paste the name of this. And then you add your rarities. I'm just going to add one for right now. We're just going to call it common. Rarities do not have to be globally unique anymore. You can name them whatever you want to name them. If for whatever reason you need to make extra rarities, but you want it to be displayed something else in game, let's say I want another common rarity. Let's just say I want like a foil common, and everything that's a foil common rarity is guaranteed to be foil, but I want it to display as common. I would just add that underscore and put common on it. Now it's those cards as well would display common as their rarity instead of foil common. I'm going to remove that one because I don't want to. We're going to keep it simple for the purposes of the tutorial. So I said I'm going to add 7 cards. So we're going to add 1. And let's go ahead and open this so I can see my cards. See, I'm going to add this one. So I'm going to copy the sprite name. The sprite name goes here. Is guaranteed foil says that this card will always be foil. It is mutually exclusive to has foils. So if I click has foils, you notice it goes away. That's because you cannot guarantee a card to be foil if every card can be foil. If this is false, then you can guarantee a card to be foil. This card no longer has a non-foil card anymore. Now it does not have a foil version. It only has the non-foil version. So if you want every single card to have a foil version, non-foil version, you want this. If you only want specific cards to be foil, you want this one. All right, so this is, I don't know who this is, so let's open it up. As Gario Eburn. I'm just going to call it Eburn. All right. We don't want it to be foil. We don't want this card to have its own foil mask, so we're just going to leave that blank. It would default back to this one. It doesn't really matter because it's not a foil card anyway, but you get the point. For everything else, for element type matters for the daily price fluctuations. It has to do with the table tournaments and stuff of that nature. It does not go into the normal pricing, so you should be fine there. For border type only matters for pricing. And you can see down here, I added the calculated price range. So for this case being, I only have one rarity with the base border type. The price range is going to be from 70 cents to $4. And as I go up in border, it will continue to get higher. Right. So this is your price range for your cards. It should make pricing your cards really simple. So I'm just going to leave it as base border type, make things simple. Let's go ahead and add 6 more cards the same way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm adding 7 because the pack size is 7, so it just makes things simple. So let's go ahead and copy NODT. I'm just going to call this one NODT. I do plan on releasing this set, and I'm going to, of course, fix naming and pricing and rarity and all of that, but I would do it on my own time outside of the screen here. So Sprite, name, everything's good. Well, you know what? We can make this one foil just to show. We're going to grab the Sprite for that one. We're going to call it, it looks like the same thing, so we're just going to call it Note 2. We're just going to leave everything as common base. I'm going to grab the Sprite for that one, put it there. This is same person, so we'll call it Note 3. You can name them the same name. They don't have to have different names. You can name them the same thing. So we're going to grab this Sprite here. We're going to call it Note 4. We're going to grab this Sprite here. We're going to call it Opie. That was this one. And I think I got one more and I need to add. Yeah, we're going to grab this Sprite. And I'm just copying and pasting Sprite names, right? And we're going to call it OP2 because it's OP as well. Okay. All right, so that's the cards. The cards are done. I mean, it's 7 cards, and I really didn't go in detail of filling these out as far as making sure prices were right and stuff of that nature. But that should be good to show off the cards. Now I do want to add a pack. I have my pack information here, so we're just going to add, that's going to be a new item. So we're going to hit add new item. Item name, we're just going to call this 1000-year blood war. This is going to be the name of the item as it appears in the shop. Category, this is a pack, so it needs to be TCG. Sprite, we're just going to copy this Sprite name over. Hide until unlock. This shows the Sprite as a big question mark until you unlock the license. Item type, this needs to be globally unique. It does not matter what it is as long as it is globally unique. So I'm just going to call it GN Bleach 1000-year blood war. License price, this is the price it costs to unlock the license. We're just going to set it to 50. License level, we're just going to set it to 5. It's the level required to unlock the license. Is big box, so for card packs specifically, this is whether it's a box containing the 32 packs or the 64 packs. We're going to say yes, it's a big box. Ignore double image. So when in the base game, when you have a 32 pack box, the sprite image is just the one pack. When you have the 64 pack box, the sprite image is a pack behind a pack, showing 2 packs. The ignore double image makes it where the 2 packs doesn't show. So if I wanted to make this like a small box and I wanted to be ideal with the game, I would do like this. But I'm making a bid box and I want to stay kind of close to the base game, so we're going to say show both packs. This is a booster pack. And you notice once I click booster pack, a lot of stuff disappears that I don't need. So base cost. This is base cost per item. So this is the cost per pack. So if I set it to 1, it's not going to be 1 because the base game does do other calculations with it, but it's going to be kind of close to 1. And then you take that and you multiply it by packs per box. So my boxes should be somewhere around the area of $64 a box right now, with this being at 1. We're going to leave it at that and just see how close it gets. Follow item price, I always set this as none. It will greatly increase the price of whatever item it is. I am still not 100% sure how the base game does math on it, but the base game has it in there, so I provide it as an option. I just don't ever use it. Price affected by, this is what affects your daily price fluctuation for your packs. So common pack card, random rarity pack, whatever. If you want your packs to be figurine. So this is just going to be the daily price fluctuation of the packs. Material, you can just copy this material in. All right, so for material list does nothing for packs at the moment. I am planning on using it to make it where the packs will spawn with a random material from the material list if you provide materials in the material list. This is not in yet, but watch out for it in a future release. And then you can have one set or one pack that comes with multiple textures, very similar to like Pokemon, for instance, where it has like the Charizard, Bulbasaur, Venusaur, Blastoise packs. They're all the same cards, just different textures on the pack. MTG does the same thing. Quite a few TCGs do the same thing. So this is something I'm going to add, but it's not in yet. Just watch for it in future releases. All right. Card expansion. This is the booster. This is the card set that this pack pulls from. I only got the one, so only one shows up here. Can have duplicates. Can this pack pull duplicates? I'm gonna say yes because I only got 7 cards. All right, so can have god packs. Whether or not this pack can pull god packs. I believe right now the god pack odds are about 1 in 100,000. I might lower them a little bit. We'll see once more bundles or more rides spread, and we'll see what the pull rates look like, and see if it needs to be lowered a little bit at that point. Pack generation. So pack generation, let's go through these. Guaranteed, you can specify slots for your rarities, and you can do this for each rarity. So for instance, right now, slot 1 and slot 4 are guaranteed common. I only have common, so every slot's guaranteed common. But if I had more, slot 1 and slot 4 would be guaranteed common. Let's say I had common and uncommon, and I marked slot 1 and slot 4 for common and uncommon. At that point, it would randomly pick between a common card and an uncommon card for both slot 1 and slot 4 based on this weight system. The higher the weight, the higher chance it is to be picked. If the slot has nothing assigned to it at all, it randomly picks between all of the rarities based off of this weight system as well for that slot. All random is just that. It's the one I'm going to use for this. It just picks 7 random cards from the pack. From the set. That's all it does. Nothing special, just picks 7 random cards and says, here's your 7 random cards. All random rated is all random, but it uses this weight system to help determine what cards it's going to pull. The higher the weight, the likelier chance that the card is going to be from that rarity. So if I had common, uncommon, and I put this at like 50, and I put uncommon at 25, then we are twice as likely that a common will be in every slot than it is for an uncommon to be in every slot. And that's rolled poor slot, so that, you get a mix of commons and uncommons at that point. But like I said, I'm going to use all random for this, so this normal weight don't matter. Pack type. This doesn't really do anything. I have plans to make it where if this pack type matches the pack type of another pack, then I will force those prices those generated prices to be the same. But it doesn't really do much in the base game, but it is required. It is required to be globally unique. And what I mean by that is you can't have the name and then somebody else can have the name. Um, Packs can share a pack type though. So if they both have the same pack type, that's no problem. Just bear in mind that I'm going to update it to where if they have the same pack type, then they're going to be priced the exact same. That's not in yet, but it will be in the future. So I'm just going to call this that for right now, just for simplicity's sake. It looks like everything is good. Everything is filled out. So I can hit build selected bundles. It's just going through the sprites that I got in there at the moment, making sure that everything's set for appropriate. I updated the bundle script to make sure that everything's updated for appropriate compression. So it's just setting everything up for appropriate compression algorithms. That's the reason why it took so long there. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to pull the screen away. All right, that's done. So what I like to do is I like to go show and explore. This is the project, the Unity project. in the Unity project. So it's going to be in assets. It's going to be in asset bundles. And then in here, it's going to be in whatever folder you happen to told it to go to. I tell mine to go to my bundles. And you can find it here. It's going to be assets, my bundles. So what we're looking for in here, in my bundles, we're looking for the name. So bleach TYBW. So TYBW and TYBW JSON. That goes in a folder in your plugins file. It does not have to be in my Enhanced Prefab Loader folder. It can be in whatever folder you want it to be. So we're just going to call this bleach. Inside of bleach, so these do have to ultimately be in a folder that has underscore prefab loader in the at the end of the name. Casing does not matter, but it just has to be underscore prefab loader. And then we're just going to dump these two in there. These have to maintain the same name, other except for the extension, but these have to maintain the same name, so don't change your names or anything. It should be good to go. Then we're going to go back and we're going to go to patchers. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to make a new folder. We're going to call that bleach. And in here, we also have to make an underscore prefab loader folder. And you don't have to do you don't have to do it nested if you don't want to. You can just like rename this and just put it like this, and that'll work as long as that's ultimately in a folder with the underscore prefab loader on it. I like to keep it a little bit cleaner than that, but all right. So now what we're looking for is an object JSON file. So it's going to be objects bleach, right? So we're going to come down here, this one right here, and we're going to put that one there in the patchers, and that's it. We are set up, ready to go. Let's run the game and see what we got. See if our game is in there. I'm going to pull that logs off to the side. It is going to hang a little bit right here, just a tad, because I have another bundle loaded that's pretty big. Okay, so if we go into the shop, stock order, we should find our pack somewhere down here at the bottom. There's Lorcana. Okay, and neither one of those is it. There it is. All right, so my card background is my sprite needs to be updated. Apparently, it is not showing with a well, it's not showing with a transparent background like I thought it was. But here goes our packs. So yeah, about 78. So it's really close. Like I said, about $64 a box. At $1 a pack. So we're just gonna buy 10, and we can go open some packs. There's my always foil cards, and at $1 a pack for, I mean, I only have one rarity. That's the reason why it's so like these cards are expensive. But there's my always foils cards. As you can see, they are always foil. And then if I go into my binder, and as you can see, I have a bunch of other stuff installed already for sets. But if I go into my binder, you should find the button here. Bleach, 1000-Year Blood War. And there's the cards. And if you click it, the name shows up on the side. the rarity. Like this is the NODT4. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Nodoi, Noit, Noit, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, everything is there's OP and OP2 and Noit 2 and yep. So yeah, there you go. That's it. That's all there is to it. Of course, you're going to be a little bit more tedious when you're trying to figure out like exact pricing and everything, but that's it. That's pretty much it. So um, I will catch y'all on the next one. I'm going to be updating all of my tutorials. I guess figured I would start with the one that's most in demand right now. Appreciate y'all and catch y'all on my next update.